Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and today we're working with another one of the patterns that I just sort of came up with. I can't really explain it any other way than that. It was just a thought of mine that if we made something along the lines of an arrowhead, but then extended it out to where the little diamond at the end of the arrowhead, if it went 3 times in a row, what would that look like? And it turns out, based on the eight string, well, it's 16 coming down, 8 strings going into it, so 8 different colors, that primarily 4 of those colors get the whole dominance of the whole bracelet. So like the yellow, the light orange, the orange, and in some bits the red. The red's sort of, it's not as much as the orange. Orange definitely got the bulk of it. Mind you, the cold colors, there was green, blue, purple, and like a magenta. And you don't get to see much of them. You get a little bit of blue here at the beginning, and then the green is sort of there. You don't really notice so much. It's just a little something outside of the yellow range. And then the yellow kind of takes over and just goes a long ways. Mind you, the yellow strings were definitely used a lot more. The yellow and the light orange, definitely a lot more. But I noticed that when I cut the strings for this, they weren't very even at the beginning, so I can't really speak of like how crazy it may have gotten, comparing one to another. But I can tell you, like the purple and stuff, it gets used almost never. So that's just what it is. It doesn't get used much at all. It could have been a much shorter string for that if I was worried about saving the strings. As far as segment knotting goes, this thing's pretty cool. It does a bit like an arrowhead where you work on a side at a time and it kind of comes together. There were parts where, I get a really long straight row. That was kind of neat. Missed a couple opportunities to do the long rows, but that came down to sometimes I just like to complete the little arrow, before it goes into the other part. It just feels a little bit more natural is all. So it's really kind of up to you. But yeah, it's a really pretty pattern. What I'm thinking is this was fun, but I think I want to see it doubled. I want to see what happens down that center line where 2 of these come together, right? Because, like, for example, in that little area where the blue is, in between the diamonds that they will create, because there'll be in a whole extra row, we would see some of the purple. So, and then in between the green that's coming down the side, we would see some of the blue. So I think there's a possibility that, as nice as this bracelet is, I think that maybe doubling it might actually really bring out some of the other colors and kind of add to the whole thing. I don't know that I would necessarily want to make a bag out of this, but I could see it. I could totally see something to this effect being a bag. Maybe it only goes in one direction. Maybe I don't do the symmetry part where it changes in the middle. I just let the colors progress all the way on down. I think that would be a really cool look. It would probably be a lot of fun to knot it up. Just a possible thing for me to explore down the road. Mind you, it's the way that it repeats itself. I wouldn't need a whole lot of the pattern to do it, to get myself started. I would just need to figure out where the colors are, where I'm starting, what it's basically gonna do, and then yeah, I could kind of run with it because it's predictable. You don't have to like keep looking at the pattern to see like, okay, what are my next knots? What am I doing? It's very predictable because it's 3 diamonds, and then the next one, and then there's 3 diamonds, and then the next. That to me was really a lot more comfortable. Like the previous one we did, where it kind of changed and some of the parts it came down and then it it didn't like go off to the next diamond. It started at the edge of the chevron. That put changes in there, ripple effects that make it harder to be able, like, you have to look at the pattern, you have to make sure that you're zigzagging where you're supposed to. This works a lot like just a regular plain arrowhead, but with the nuance of letting it kind of repeat out a little bit more, kind of stretch out the overall thing. And yeah, so it took me a little less than 2 hours, which is probably a little bit better than average for a bracelet this size. So that was pretty cool. I definitely took longer in the first half, but made up for it in the latter half. I think that's a little bit to do with the length of the strings, maybe less distractions, I don't know. But like the first hour, I didn't quite make it to the middle, and then so I was kind of thinking like, oh, this is gonna take me more than 2 hours, but then it just kind of sped up and got much quicker. So again, shorter strings perhaps, maybe less distractions. I really can't say why it went so much better, but it did. But like that little spot there, that's all the purple for the whole bracelet, which seems silly. I mean, you couldn't have a different color in there. It's part of the whole rainbow thing. It fits and where it is, but it's kind of silly that that's like all the purple you get for something like this. It's kind of fun. Oh, we're past the halfway. See, I would forget. I do need to thank my YouTube members for making this possible. Thank you guys so much. Yeah, they help build this channel. So if you want to be on that list, you want to be able to see videos early, you want to do the hangouts and stuff, all you gotta do is hit the join button. It's down there near the subscribe. So that would be kind of awesome. Could definitely use a little bit more help, especially if I'm going to do anything with the US. I don't know if you guys know this, but it's to ship a bracelet to the US, it's like $24.50 or $25.50, something like that. It's ridiculous right now. They have to send it a certain, like, it's kind of like the FedEx way of shipping it as opposed to regular mail, because of the tariffs and stuff that are going on. So like there is no just put it in an envelope and mail it like normal. That doesn't exist right now. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. Maybe if we could get some more subscribers, maybe we could do some giveaways back on the live stream again. But right now I can't afford to send off a bracelet or a bag or something. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, so this is, now they're all coming, the chevrons are coming down. And I think that also may have helped a little bit. You like can really see what part is done, what's going on. I don't know. It's a fun build. And it's a pretty bracelet. I really do like it. It really is pretty. Kind of wish there was a way of showing more of the cold colors, but the way this whole thing stretched out so much, you don't get a chance to see the cold colors. It's but that's okay. Like this will be something different in the collection when people come to get a bracelet. Maybe they don't want the cold colors. Maybe they want something that really pops. In which case, they're gonna love this. So, but yeah, I'm gonna try this doubled up with the same color combo, so that way we can kind of compare them together. You know, like apples to apples kind of thing. I want to see this doubled up, and I think it'll be pretty cool. I think it'll be a bracelet that really gets noticed. Mind you, much bigger than because this will be 32 strings coming down. anything much bigger than that, and I don't think anybody wants it anymore. Like nobody's wearing the super wide bracelets that I've seen. Once upon a time, oh man, I had, you know, half my forearm covered in giant bracelets, and sure, people thought it looked kind of neat, but no one else was like, hey, can you build me one? So kind of is what it is. I'm not sure. Let's see. Yeah, we're down to the light orange, and then the yellow just wraps around at the end. So yeah, there's like a couple more diamonds to go. It's really quick towards the end here. You can see it starting to banana, right? Like just that little bit of a curve. I can straighten that back out with just a little twist, but that comes from I was working so far away from the clip, it'll start to drift like that. So you want to straighten it up and then re-clip it so that way you're closer to the clip. It's a natural thing. It happens to everybody. But yeah, I've seen the question a lot, like, why is my bracelet curved? It's got to do with like not working up really close to where, you know, it's anchored down, you know, because your bracelet never starts out wrong, right? It just gets like that as you go along. So yep, here comes the colors just kind of meet in the middle, which I like that. I like when a bracelet starts out easy and ends easy. I think that's a good look, and it feels cool to do. So all right, guys, well, thanks for watching, and as always, don't get your strings in a bunch.